CzarThwomp here, and welcome to episode 19 of Dual Destinies. Last time, we finished up day 2 of investigations for this case, and now we're gonna move on with the actual second day trial, so let's go.
Apollo Justice, defense team leader, is ready, Your Honor.
Athena Sykes, assistant defender, is ready to Your Honor, just we pret.
As chipper as ever, I see, and in French no less. Extra points for you, and the prosecution?
Damn these shackles! Why must they imprison me so?
Very well then, by the way, I asked Detective Fulbright to provide sturdy shackles today. There will be no more of your funny business this time, Prosecutor Blackwell.
And then Blackwell just immediately smashes the shackles, I'll show you sturdy shackles!
Now, your opening statement if you would. I believe it's standard procedure for the prosecution to handle it.
Looks like the judge is really bringing it today.
He probably realized how Blackwell played him. That was one mean game of Simon Says.
Yeah, His Honor has to fight to defend his honor today. Your baldness. It's plain to see that you've always dreamed of delivering an epic opening statement.
I have? I don't know if I'd say that.
Why, of course you have! I saw it in your eyes the last time you gave the opening statement. That was the look of one who yearns deeply for the thrill of an epic opening statement. For decades now, you have been watching opening statements from your bench. They were the crown jewels of the court. The one thing you could not possess.
The crown jewels of the court?
Now, at long last, they're within your grasp. How could you possibly refuse? Do my work for me.
Oh, so you don't mind if I do it then?
I'll make a special exception, just this once. Here we go again.
Yep, more of Blackwell's mind games. Well, in that case, I think I might go ahead and make the opening statement myself. In yesterday's session, we learned that shocking truth that the victim, Alderman Rex QB, was the Amazing Ninetales. We also learned that the Amazing Ninetales was a key figure in the yokai craze and anti-merger protests. It was further revealed that upon learning Rex QB's secret identity, Mayor Damien Denma murdered him. The fact that the crime took place in a tightly locked room was also brought to light. And the only people in that tightly locked room were the defendant and the victim. The defense proposed the existence of a hypothetical third party, but further investigation revealed no proof of a third party who had escaped the room.
Ergo,
we must conclude that the evidence against the defendant is, well, conclusive. Eek! Did I say something wrong?
That was quite astonishing. You truly outdone yourself this time.
Oh, one more thing to boast about to my grandchild. Well, this was not an unexpected turn of events. Now then, it seems the prosecution has called a new witness to testify.
The inexplicable yogai evidence left at the scene of the crime. Well, does that not demand some sort of explanation?
The fellows in tracks, weren't those left by the mayor while he was possessed?
That was but an act to protect his daughter.
Oh, yes, of course. I had suspected as much. Wait, did he actually believe the mayor's award-winning performance?
No, I just felt that it would be the best way to get the outcome I want. His daughter was the one who planted the yokai evidence. Ergo, the true identity of the yokai in the manor was the mayor's maid, Jinxie Tenma.
Objection!
The prosecution is engaging in mere conjecture.
Oh, like you don't do that? Like Right Dono never did that? Like his mentor never did that? Like his ancestor never did that. That's right, I studied Ryunosuke no Ruhodo. I read the history books. I see a Japanese defense attorney in England back in the early 20th century. I said to myself, jackpot, this is my weekend reading.
Oh my god.
Would you care for some witness testimony then? For I am ready likely to prove that the little scamp is the one behind the dead Motaro fuss.
Witness testimony. I'll bet he means Filch and that creepy LaBelle. Very well then. Bailiff, would you bring in the first witness? Mr. Filch, you made quite the hasty exit yesterday. See that doesn't happen again today.
Been known for my hasty retreat since I was a kid. Bit of a trademark of mine.
Indeed. You managed to give a total of 5 bailiffs the slip.
Like those amateurs could ever nab me. Yipes! Perhaps we should shackle you by the neck. That would keep you in place. Yipes! No, please! I'm liable to rip my own head off if I start running. Then don't run. Your statement, now. Yes, sir! Mr. Blackhead, sir! He might beat a hasty retreat, but there's no escape in Prosecutor Blackquill.
Yeah, Blackquill doesn't strike me as the give-up easy type. Now then, Mr. Filch, your testimony, please. Specifically, the true nature of the yokai you saw in the manor shortly after the crime.
Temataro's real, that little maid girl! Gal, ain't no doubt about it. I mean, the Temataro I saw, which is a little thing about her size, but the little rod and a big bowl staff, I seen her when she came into the foyer. Bet she stole it from the forbidden chamber after she stumbled upon the crime scene. She was gonna use it to wild me on account of my fierce reputation. I just know it. She saw this hulking bod, and she said, damn, he's too strong, he's too handsome. I gotta get rid of this guy while I can. But she tried to hit me on the head with her staff, but darn it, I gave her the slip. I sidestepped to the left, and then I ripped out her hands, and I bent it like it was a twig. I was just like, just spend your money, and then I tossed this out like it was scrap metal. She ran, but she couldn't outrun Phineas Filch. I was chasing after her like the Flash. She tried, but then she gave me the slip when she hit me on the head with that shovel. I almost died, but darn it, my wondrous nature, it kept me alive. My thieving blood allowed me to withstand the blood force trauma that was used by that shovel to kill Mayor Tenma's wife, 2 maids, a stray cat, a dog, a ferret, a fat man, an auditor, and the Department of Health and Sanitation. They said 3 guys, but darn it, Mayor Tenma killed them all.
So Temataro was short in stature, and that's because it was Miss Jixie Tenma all along?
You betcha! Besides, all that rest in the manor were way taller than her. Fang height is but an easy thing. Too bad you haven't been able to learn any of those techniques, Miss Justice Domino. But a big ox like the defendant could never pass for short.
What if the Temataro and Berserker was walking on their knees?
We're no knee walking, I seen it myself.
Then perhaps that yogai really was Miss Tenma after all.
All monsters are not but tricks, either of the mind or the cheap parlor variety.
So you're saying that she created an illusion like one of those magical eye things?
Precisely. Human senses are easily deceived. Take the fellow in the cell next to me. Each night he cries and screams about some ghost he thinks he sees. He keeps screaming about the redhead ghost, about how she haunts him, about how she poisoned his coffee. But in truth, it was simply the janitor. It was simply Winston Payne!
Ho ho ho! Monsieur Blackwell just gave up the ghost, literally!
The janitor's deathly complexion, all white attire, are no doubt partially to blame. That and the fact that he constantly mutters about taking vengeance for this or that.
That actually sounds like a real ghost to me. The defense may now cross-examine the witness.
Cross-examination. The yokai is Jinxie.
Hold it!
Mr. Filch, you and Mr. LaBelle mentioned something about a practice yesterday. Do you deny the so-called lesson was about what you were supposed to say in court?
No, you got it all wrong.
Then could you tell the court exactly what sort of lesson it was?
Oh, it was, what was it again? Yipes! Now I remember. Math, numbers listen, Mr. Filch. My fist plus your face equals pain.
He's completely under blacklist control too.
Sorry. Darn it, CzarThwomp, why were you mistaking Filch for me? Anyway, that Tamataro was that little May gal, so what's the difference?
Hold it!
I think you got a good look how tall the Tamataro impersonator was.
You betcha! I got a habit of sizing people up. When I can assault, determining what people I can insult with a giant lead pipe. I can even give you a primer on how to pull it off. All on the table, Natch. I got a knack for figuring out where people's pockets are and how much money they have. You have nothing. I size up real good before I...
He just admitted to being a pickpocket right here in court. Does the witness hold that this Tamataro into the foyer?
Darn right I do.
Hold it!
Well, you're not gonna brush it off by claiming the perp was short.
Must hit a raw nerve, cause you ain't so tall yourself. Yeah, that's the thing about Apollo, where basically fun fact, if you look on the wiki, you'll see that Apollo is listed as being 5'5". However, basically, that 5'5" actually includes the hair horns. So basically, which are 5 inches. So Apollo is basically 5 feet tall, which is the exact same height as Truce. And heck, even Juniper is 1 inch taller than Apollo. Athena 3, and so on and so forth. So yeah, Apollo isn't exactly the tallest guy in the room.
Look who's talking, mister! I've got to stand on a box just to testify! I don't have to sit on a box! I'm a big man! I'm a big man with big platform shoes! Anyways, Mr. Filch, correct me if I'm wrong, but I didn't say the Tamataro you saw had a staff.
Cross my heart up to die! I know it goes out when jingle in a jangle!
And where'd you suppose that staff came from?
The staff, you say? Well, sorry about that.
Hold it!
I suppose you mean to say that Jinxie Tenma entered the Forbidden Chamber to get that one?
Well, I ain't never seen a staff like that in the manor, so it had to be the Forbidden Chamber.
Oh, really? The stench of LaBelle is thick in the air today.
Jinxie entered the Forbidden Chamber after the incident. Then she took the staff and tried to cover up her actions by pretending to be Tenmataro. I guess that's what Filch is trying to say.
Could Jinxie have even entered the Forbidden Chamber if she wanted to? There is one thing I was wondering about. Why did that yokai have a staff in the first place?
Well, I've got my hunches about that.
Hold it!
Wallop you? And why would the so-called yokai want to do that?
That little May gal never did like me. She always hightails it when I come around her. She sings these weird little papers on my noggin.
She probably thinks of him as the dreaded Tanuki monster of Kyubi Manor or something.
We need to prove that Jinxie isn't Tenmataro, but I have no idea how we're gonna do that.
All we have to do is prove that it was impossible for Jinxie to turn into Tenmataro, and that might be easier than you think.
Really?
Now's our chance! Our chance to expose the real Tenmataro for all to see!
Okay, all we gotta do now is present the key.
Objection!
It would seem that Tenmataro was in fact not this innocent little girl.
Huh? How do you figure that?
You claim that Tenmataro you saw had one of those staves from the Forbidden Chamber, but it would have been impossible for Miss Tenma to get hold of one. Care to elaborate, Mr. Justice? The mayor swallowed this key shortly after the murder. He wanted to keep the killer out of the Forbidden Chamber.
What's this?
This key was deep in the mayor's stomach when Miss Tenma discovered the crime scene. So you see, it would have been impossible for her to get into the Forbidden Chamber. In short, the Tenmataro seen holding that staff could not have been Jinxie Tenma.
Ack! Arr!
What? But then who does the defense believe was impersonating Tenmataro? Our Tenmataro Berserker is down on the Mayor's Tenma's aid!
Objection.
Yes, the Mayor Tenma! Not Mayor Tenma, the Mayor Tenma!
Such accusations beg evidence. Aside from this ghastly appearance, can you prove he is the yokai we seek?
Yes, in fact, I can! Very well. Let's see where the defense is going with this. Mr. Justice, please show us proof as to the true identity of Tenmataro's impersonator.
Take that.
We found this hand cream in the Forbidden Chamber, and we know that whoever was Tenmataro took one of the stabs out of there. In short, I believe that whoever this hand cream belongs to is the yokai berserker we're looking for. But Mr. Justice, how do you propose to identify the hand cream's owner? I'm glad you asked, Your Honor. The defense requests a fingerprint analysis on this piece of evidence. It might tell us who it belongs to. Interesting. So, you expect to find the yokai's prints there? Very well. I hereby call a short recess while we wait for the fingerprint results.
No need for that, Your Boldness. We have the prints of everyone at the manor that day.
You called Prosecutor Blackwell?
Could anyone be more whipped?
Fulbright, analyze this for prints. You have 3 minutes.
Your wish is my command! Very well then. I guess we'll just wait right here.
It would seem the fingerprint analysis is complete.
What do the results show?
What in the world?
They're Florent Lapel's prints, aren't they?
This is absurd.
Prosecutor Blackwell? I'm not going to like this, am I? Don't tell me. The Tenmataro's prints, he uses moisturizer! Because he's worth it!
Fingerprint analysis has revealed that the prints belong to... Phineas Filch!
Objection.
Wait, what? What?
Then Mr. LaBelle was the one who entered the Forbidden Chamber.
Objection.
Why, you tricksy little tanuki? Explain yourself now! Sure! Then put him on! I mean, I did pilfer the hand cream from the bell after all.
So you're the one who went to the Forbidden Chamber?
So what if I did? Did you got a problem with it? Yipes! You fool of a tanuki!
Order! Mr. Justice, can you explain what this could mean? Excellent question. The fact that Mr. Filch is in the Forbidden Chamber. Wait a second. Does this mean that Tenmataro holding that staff was... Phineas Filch?
Yipes! Another cab bag?
Mr. Filch is Tenmataro? I don't understand. Does this mean Mr. Filch is the real killer? The witness will explain himself this instant.
Begging your pardon, your honorship, but I was just doing what the alderman told me. He wanted me to be Tenmataro with the village exorcism ritual.
Oh, you mean the event at Ninetales? You mean that event at the Ninetales Festival? So that was you inside the Tenmataro costume?
Yep, and after the event, I went to watch that pro wrestling program. But it bored me to tears on account of the wrestlers being complete jobbers.
So we did actually watch the entire wrestling match?
That's when I looked at the Tenmataro costume and got a great idea. Nobody can tell it's me inside when I'm wearing it. And because of them superstitions, no matter what I do, the villagers won't say a word.
In other words, you used the superstitions to effectively render yourself invisible. Why did you want to enter the Forbidden Chamber in the first place?
Because of the treasure there. Thought that was my big chance to sneak in and nab it.
Treasure?
Only that it's the greatest get-rich-quick chance in the universe. Grandpapa told me all about it. Said there's an amazing treasure in there.
He went in there not knowing his grandfather had already pilfered it.
Guess that's one tale. That didn't get passed down from grandpappy to grandson.
Wait, how exactly did you get into the Forbidden Chamber? There was a meeting in the Fox Chamber that day. Plus, the mayor swallowed the only key that could open the Forbidden Chamber's door. You couldn't have possibly have gotten in.
I could through the air vent in the foyer. I had a lot of butter. I had some WD-40 and some butter, and then I just wriggled on through that there vent. The vent's left of the alderman's picture. I went on in and made a nice little hole. Used that to get into the air duct that leads to the forbidden chamber. I did.
You what?
But how's that even possible? Wait a sec. Remember that air vent in the forbidden chamber?
So Mr. Filch found a way to get into that air duct. And
that's how he got from the foyer vent to the forbidden chamber vent.
So Temotaro was nothing more than a cat burglar, or rather a tanuki burglar. And we're back to being without anyone to charge for the alderman's murder.
Looks like our so-called yokai is nothing more than one big troublemaker.
Tell me, Mr. Filch, what did you do after fleeing to the foyer?
I got out of that costume right quick. Would have just caused trouble at that point.
And where's that costume now?
Heck if I know, and it ain't my fault if you never found it. The police searched every nook and cranny. No yokai costume was left in the manor.
What if it was tossed outside the banner?
Oh!
No way! But maybe, just maybe. The defense seems to have hit upon an idea. Well, go on, Mr. Justice. Okay, here's what I think. Mr. Filch, did you get rid of the costume here?
Take that!
Did you toss it out the window? Because that would certainly explain why it didn't turn up inside the manor.
You think I tossed out the window? That costume cost me a pretty penny. I would have sold it on Craigslist, and then I would have mugged the guy who would have tried to buy it. I would have hit him on top of the head with a giant cinder block and mugged his wallet. Took his and now come over and take his kidneys. So why would I do something like that?
I can think of a few reasons.
Any bright as Apollo?
Well, assuming the costume really was tossed out the window, then the next question would be, what happened to it after that? And if I'm right, I might have just hit the thing to prove what happened to the costume. Phineas Filch, I have just the evidence for you.
You do?
This evidence proves you got rid of your Temotaro costume through the window.
Take that!
Ah, that's Temotaro flying through the sky.
And just how does that prove Mr. Filch threw his costume out the window? It's quite simple. That's not Temotaro in the photo. It's the costume Mr. Filch threw out.
Oh, that's okay, 10% battery, yay. Oh, that's crazy, Doc. You ain't serious, are you?
There's a steep cliff right outside the foyer window, meaning the manor's pretty high up. The costume flew through the air after it was tossed out. That's when the photo was taken. In other words, the photo of Temotaro really was a flight of fancy. What?
Yikes!
Oh my, so there really was never a yokai?
Oh, I can't keep any of them cats back. Can I still file a claim for the lost costume?
This more than proves the defense's position. Jinxie Tenma had nothing to do with the staging of the yokai sighting. Care to raise any objections, Prosecutor Blackwell?
None whatsoever. I'll deal with the tricksy Tanuki after I've dealt with this case.
We did it!
Good going. Now all we have to do is make Florent LaBelle take the stand.
Objection!
Sheathing the sword a bit early, are we not?
Huh?
Nothing has been proven beyond a doubt. Take this tricksy little Tanuki, for instance. How do you suppose he was able to exit the Forbidden Chamber?
Probably the same way he got in. Through the chamber's air vent.
And what do the feathers and tracks at the scene of the crime? They would suggest that the Tanuki exited through the chamber door, not the air vent.
Objection!
But the forbidden chamber doesn't open from the inside. So what you're saying makes no sense. Right?
Someone on the outside opened the door for you. Isn't that right? Okay, we'll answer that question in the next episode. Anyways, I think that now's a good time to end things off. I really appreciate that you stuck around to watch this episode. You're a great viewer, and I hope you come back for the next one. If you like the video, like, subscribe, comment, share, do whatever you want. And I'll see you next time. Bye.